Now, West Australian author Tim Winton and his return to his boyhood home. Winton has lately turned to new forms of writing for television and just completing his second play. It will have its world premiere this weekend in Albany, the writer's former hometown. Claire Nichols reports.
The weather's different and it's green and there's hills. You know, when you live on the central west where there's no bumps in the landscape, and yeah, it's different. It's nice to come back. But yeah, in winter I come back and I think, maybe this was why we left. It delayed the onset of puberty. It was so cold.
It's the place where he grew up and the town that defines his work. Tim Winton and Albany are hard to separate.
It's a bit of a ritual, really. I like, as soon as I pull into town, there's 3 or 4 places I just got to see before I'm happy.
The author was 12 years old when his father took up a post at the Albany police station, leaving Perth to move to the cold and windy whaling town.
I didn't want to be here for the first 6 months, probably. I was miserable and everything seemed different. It's only a few hundred kilometres, but it seemed slightly culturally different to what I was used to. So I was a reluctant migrant. But the place really grew on me, it's quite a significant place for me emotionally, and I think it's had a disproportionate impact on my work. I mean, I've written a lot about this town and the region, the coast itself. So yeah, I'm very fond of it.
On the page, it's called Angelus, but the grey skies and frontier past of Tim Winton's fictional town are pure Albany, and the teenage experiences the author had here resonate through his later work.
We'd be down at Middleton Beach and you'd walk home in the rain with your surfboard, just plugging away, thinking, oh, one day I'll get old enough, I'll have a car, be able to drive. Oh, it's raining. How surprising!
It was wild and woolly. The pubs along the front here were pretty rough and colourful, and they were interesting to walk by. With the occasional underage pony at the end of the bar. Those tiny little glasses of beer. I think they were called a pony. Whatever happened to the pony? Can you still get a pony in a pub?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Can you still order a pony? Right. Bowling club.
Tim Winton is back in Albany for a reason. His new play, Signs of Life, is having its world premiere in his former hometown.
Shut up! Bender, kill me! I said shut up!
The material will be familiar to fans. The play is something of a sequel to his acclaimed 2001 novel, Dirt Music.
The book comes out and people's experience of Dirt Music is just the printed page. My experience of Dirt Music is, that plus all the stuff that isn't in the book, and it doesn't go away. It's always there, and I guess the play is an opportunity for me to play with some of the stuff that's still there.
The play is his second after last year's Rising Water, and the playwriting process is still an uncomfortable fit for the solitary writer.
Normally I'm the boss of me, and when I'm writing a novel it's all down to me. If it's any good, it's down to me. If it's not, then it's my fault, and I control almost every part of the process. Even when I'm not sure I'm in control, ultimately I'm to blame. So it's challenging to hand it over and then to feel helpless, and everyone else is doing their job and there's not much that you can do. I mean, you can occasionally be consulted and asked, but most of the time they ask me questions that I haven't got answers to, so what's the point? Just sit there and wring your hanky and hope for the best.
Tim always takes us by surprise with giving us a kind of ordinary world and then magical things wandering through, and I love that. It lifts it out of the domestic. It's it's very special.
The play is set in the future in a West Australian town where it hasn't rained for 5 years. Throughout his career, Tim Winton has been an outspoken environmental activist and says the public consciousness about the environment is changing.
I mean, here we are on the harbour in Albany, where literally just there, all the whale chasers used to moor up every afternoon after having gone out and slaughtered sperm whales, and humpbacks, and we took them right to the brink. And so when I lived here, that was a fixed idea, and it was a fixed idea as a tourist to go out and see them chopped up and boiled up for cosmetics and fertiliser. And if you'd said to people in the 70s that this town won't be like that in 20 years and it'll be a different place, people would have called you an idiot or a scumbag, or both. But I think a town like Albany is testament to how a culture changes and how quickly.
We used to go and catch herring near the sewer outlet.
Really? Are they good fish there?
Yeah. Yeah, they were big. Yeah, they were big and fat. We tasted different.
After his brief visit to Albany, Tim Winton is set to return to the Central Coast and to the writing desk. He has 2 more novels in the pipeline and says while it's getting harder as he gets older, it's writing that still gives him his greatest joy.
The great thing about the act of writing is that you are relieved of all that other stuff. You don't, all your problems of ego, or your problems of vanity, or your problems about your reputation, that's when you can leave it behind, and you're just in the moment. You're the story that's happening on the page, takes me away, and it's nice to be taken away.